Jubilee is a Black Feminist Homecoming. Y'all.
Hey y'all, I'm Aeon.
And I'm the Lioness.
And you're listening to Box number 512 podcast.
Grown Black Trans Woman Talk. Changing your world one conversation at a time.
The show begins now. Welcome to another installment of Box number 512 podcast, Grown Black Trans Women Talk Live. I am your co-host, Aeon.
And I am the Lioness. How y'all feeling?
We are really happy to be here live from the Dolls of Thriving, a national virtual summit. I want to thank you all, especially Marique Jensen, for reaching out to us, for thinking of us to be a part of this. We're still in our infancy in our podcast. We launched in March of 2020 at the beginning of the pandemic. So to have an opportunity to have this platform to speak back into our community and to just create space and to do what we love with you all is definitely an honor for me. And we hope to have a great conversation for today. Sis, did you have anything you wanted to say?
No, you pretty much summed up my feelings. This has been such a wonderful opportunity. I've had the privilege of being here both days. And the conversations have been transformative. We gave y'all a shout out on our last podcast we recorded because I didn't realize how much I missed community, how much I missed the dolls, my sisters, until really this conference. And it's just like the love that we have, that we come together, the words of affirmation that we extend to one another, the connections that we have are just irreplaceable. And it is valuable to me to be here today. It means a lot to be a part of this collective and to be a part of such a group of phenomenal women. And I look forward to more events like this. I know the world is shutting down and it'll be probably a while before we can truly come together. But just this was enough to kind of, I guess, gird me up and steel me for the journey ahead until we can get back together. So thank you guys for having me and thank you for having us.
So I think we want to do this like a regular episode. So I guess we can do a mini update. So sis, what did you do? What's the update that you can give today? What did you do that was an act of self-care for yourself today?
An act of self-care was getting dolled up for this moment. So I'm a girl that gets her life off of being that girl, and in regular life, you can't really pull off sequins all the time. So I look for opportunities to give my razzle and my dazzle. And so getting ready for this while I was on the combo earlier, I'm in the background just painting and, getting it together, getting myself together for this moment. Cause I'm like, if I can get glammed and dolled up to go out in the streets and turn, I definitely am going to try to at least give that to the girls because y'all have been so giving to me. And I just really it's for me in general, this is life for me, the glam of it all. So yeah, what about you, Bree? What did you do to give yourself a little bit of self-care?
Well, I feel attacked because I wasn't able to get glam. It doesn't mean that I don't care about the girls, but what I did do is so for this, because I knew we were doing this conference and I was going both days, I used my personal time at work. To everybody on the call, if you have personal time and sick time and you work for a company, use that shit because the shade is these jobs really don't care about us. So we have to use our time and create our own self-care. So I took off from yesterday till Friday. And today, this morning, I'm still a little bit under the weather, but I feel good enough. So I'm lucky to be in an apartment complex where we have a very fabulous pool. So I went to the pool and I laid out. I'm in the middle of reading our book for our book club, The Meaning of Mariah by Mariah Carey. We're going to have our conversation about that book on our Patreon page this Saturday at 8 p.m. But I was able to read a substantial amount of that, swim in the pool, like submerge myself in the water, get my hair wet, and just really feel black, trans, fat, and free in the water, swimming, just getting my life. I got a tan. I don't know if you can see it on the thing, but you can see a little line. I do have sunscreen because I do believe in sunscreen for black folks, and I have a sunscreen moisturizer because black do crack, but you should be moisturizing your black. But that was just really healing to me, like being in my bathing suit, being tucked Miss Thing, and all the parts I hiding, and just enjoying this nice 90-degree weather, enjoying my time off. So that is, we need to be in the sunlight, we need to be out, we need to be among the kids screaming because they can't get, like, we deserve to be out. So I'm just happy that I was able to take the moment to get in the pool. And I've been in this complex. It was a year in July, and I'm trying to remember if the pool was open last year. And I don't think that the pool was open last year, because this time last year everything was still fiercely shut down because of the pandemic. But that was an act of self-care for me. So before we get into our topic, we're going to have some housekeeping. So if everybody is on this live Zoom call, y'all should be sharing this on your social media account so we can get the numbers up, so we can get more folks up in here. So you should be sharing the Zoom link, sending it to your girlfriends. Go ahead, sis.
I want to say shout out to our patrons on Patreon. Thank you for supporting a Black trans business. We love you. We appreciate all of your support. Our loyal Patreon family is so supportive, and they are extra engaged, and we love it. On our last episode, we had the privilege of answering some of your questions. And for those of you who did post questions, we spoke to you directly. You got a direct message from the Royals. And so we're just happy to have you guys be a part of our family. And if you would like to be a patron on Patreon, go to box number 512 podcast, and all you have to do is key it in the search bar and we'll come up. And we just appreciate it. We have different tiered levels, and there's something for everybody here. And we just want to provide extra content. Like my sister says, we have our book club that is debuted on there. We have our conversation on hotels, where we get into the tea that we don't really want out all on the media. We have our conversations about our families, our loved ones, and you get this visual experience every week on box number 512. And we also do bonus footage that comes out as well. So you guys, if you want to really get the whole conversation, because you're kind of getting half, but if you want the whole conversation, you want to become a patron on our Patreon page. Thank you.
So yes, make sure you not only share the Zoom, make sure you're sharing this conference. I know it's the last day, but word of mouth is a really powerful thing, and we need to be promoting ourselves and promoting community stuff so we can continue to have this stuff in the future, to show that we do show out and support each other. So for me, I felt it was important. The conversations have been a lot about healing and self-actualization as Black, well, not just Black, but trans women of color. But of course, I'm speaking from my perspective as a Black person. I felt it was really pertinent to have like a really, I don't want to say deep, because I don't want to try to be crying or nothing like that. But I think in doing this work and being in this field, and also to be out and be open as a trans person and to create change, I think it takes a radical act of rejecting the stories that are put on you about who we are, how we should value ourselves, what we deserve. And I think it takes a powerful person to realize that you have the right to not indulge and believe the lie. You have the right to let go of the lie that society has told you, your parents has told you, your lover has told you, and in a lot of cases, even at like the micro level, that you even tell yourself. So we want to have like a guided conversation of how to let go of the lie. And I know, and something that we do at Black Summer Podcast, we're not like a preachy podcast. We don't ever assume to have the answers or tell you what you should do or what you shouldn't do, because that's just not realistic. But we are very vulnerable on our podcast, where we share our life experiences to show some of the lessons that we've learned, and some of the lessons that we still have to master as we're all trying to figure this thing out called life. But when I say letting go of the lie, for me, what that looks like is letting go of the lie that my transness is inherently bad.
Yes, I think that's a good one, Bree. Talk about it, sis.
So when we have our conversation, to me, that's the center of everything, because I think, particularly as a trans woman, you can be beautiful, you can have access to all of these things, but if like the root is, because I'm trans, I'm somehow inherently inferior because I'm not cis, or I need to do all of those things to be cis or to position myself to be cis, it kind of taints everything you do, especially if you see yourself as somebody that's in activism work, because it's not going to only taint the work that you do, it's going to taint the types of relationships that you have with other trans people if the goal is to attain cisness, something that from my perspective is just inherently unattainable. Before we get into and for me, I found an article written by Janie Moon, and it's basically about letting go of the lies that make us feel bad about ourselves. And it's just 5 steps to get through that. And I just think it's so relevant. And I think I have a story, or I have one story that hits on each of the steps. So I just want us to talk through it. And I'm pretty sure if we have enough time at the end, if y'all are feeling something and y'all want to jump in on the conversation, and if you have a story, please feel free to come in and share. Sis, did you have anything you want to say about the letting go of the lie?
Letting go of the lies. So what's interesting is that I was told a bunch of lies. And I internalized them. I was fed those lies, and I internalized them, and I ate them, and I swallowed them. And for a while, I thought that the lies nurtured me. I thought that my beliefs, my Christian background, and the condemnation on it was something that it was my cross to bear. I thought that my family's rejection or the treatment that I faced growing up through living through bullying was something that was just a part of growing up, you know. I'm proud to see that we've gotten to this anti-bullying culture, but that I was told to suck it up. That's just how it is. And I'm from a very small town in South Carolina. And I want to say, for me, removing the lies was unpacking an entire dogma. It was unpacking an entire belief system. It was unpacking the way I saw the world, to give myself permission to be free, to give myself permission to show up in the world in a way that was never going to quite fit into any box. And just kind of really being okay with the fact that this paradigm in life, this dichotomy, this binary that we live in, the heteronormative standards that usually just neatly apply to everybody, just simply would not fit for me. And so it was very, very an enlightening experience, and I'm still unpacking lies. I'm still carrying on the lies that I didn't know I'm still believing. And so we can talk a little bit about the lies later, but I think the first step in unpacking the lies is realizing that you might not even be aware of it, but you're carrying lies that aren't yours to carry. I'm carrying shame that isn't mine to carry. I'm carrying feelings of insecurity that weren't mine to carry. But because I ate the lies, because that's all I was being fed, they sustained me so long that they were very hard to let go. So I feel like the first step is just truly understanding that as the beings that we are, we will never fit into everybody's neat expectations of what is normal, no matter how real you think you are, no matter how passable you think you are, no matter how much you achieve in life, no matter the benchmarks that everybody checks off in this competing with the Joneses game. You will never completely fit in to the larger heteronormative framework that says because you are who you are, you're not good enough. So yeah.
So I want to get into, so Joss breaks it down into 6 steps or 6 stages or whatever. So I want to talk about the first one. The first one is. Thank you for listening to another episode of Box number 512 podcast, Grown Black Trans Women Talk.
And don't forget to become a patron on the Box number 512 Patreon page, where we have all new exclusive content.
And also don't forget to follow us on our social media, on our Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook pages. And also become a subscriber on our YouTube page. Until next time, bye.